Hello everyone, welcome to the third video of AIPM series. So over the last two videos, I have talked about what is AIPM and how general PM differs from the AIPM and how many hats that typical AIPM wears. And second video, we talked about what are the two type of products that AIPM should work on, 0 to 1 and 1 to N. And we talked about AI product lifecycle and what are the skills that AI PM should have and what are the core responsibilities AI PM should master. Now, in the third video, we are going to talk about more real world applications and some other two things that we need to focus on. So let's move on. So let's start with something every PM struggle, which is how to align your team. So as an AI PM, let me introduce to you a three-tier framework for strategic preparation. So, what is this three-tier strategic framework? So, to help your team align on the goals and prospects, this is a strategic environment, kind of like an exercise, simply that categorize your current existing work down to three categories. Can be a current project, can be a special project, or it can be Moonshot idea. So depending on your team vision, the work done. So your project will fall into one of the three categories. So let's see what are these categories. So the current project, the first one. So if you look at the first one, these are the products that your team is actively working on. But here's the catch. Don't limit yourself to just list them or analyze. You have to understand what is the client base and what are the clients that we are going to reach out with our project, and what are the potential and what are the AI capabilities are you already using if you are in an AI project, and what's working and what isn't. So this creates your baseline. And the next thing is aspirational projects. If we talk about these aspirational projects, these are the products that your team wishes that they had to time work on. They are inspired. But this is where you uncover hidden interest in AI trends and take a shot. For example, like advanced personalization features, intelligent automation systems, or predictive analytic techniques. Finally, we have moonshot ideas. So moonshot ideas is like very ambitious and resource unconstrained AI products that push your boundaries. So most of the companies are limited because they have a resource, like it can be like a physical resource or software resource, like a financial constraint. Because of that, they are unable to go to the moonshot ideas. They sometimes nearly able to execute aspirational project, but sometimes, most of the time, moonshot ideas is the kind of impossible thing. But with strategic involvement, we can see how to accomplish these moonshot ideas and as well as aspirational projects. So can be a revolution like AI application, which changes 150 years ahead. But we have to be strategic about what we are and like what kind of niche market we are in. So here's a pro tip from this frame. So after identifying your question, so you have to understand what are the ideas that I have to understand, like let's say kind of like a brainstorm. So gather your team and brainstorm what you already know and what you are going to implement. So 10% of the ideas that offers the most value key use segment, select them and prioritize high value customers. So high value customers because they are your like what we are talking about. They are your like long term friends. Okay, like friend is like a very common. Like I think it's suitable, right? Because that's where you grow. If your team doesn't get challenged, your team never grow. So with this kind of AI driven project also, if you prioritize your higher value customers to ensure impactful projects, that means your team start to grow. So during team sharing session, identify recurring themes and interest to pinpoint that most promising project. It will strengthen your team and organization goals. So let's talk about what separates successful AI team from the rest. So this next few minutes, we are going to talk about critical talk do's and don'ts. So the first do, solve the right problem. So the every great product starts the important problem. But is it the right one to leverage AI? For example, Dyson is a good example that we can get to demonstrate what I'm saying. Okay. So they recognize that people dislike having to plug in a code to vacuum and design the first codeless vacuum and become a market leader. So validate whether users are bothered enough by that problem before jumping into a solution. So it's not AI is not like a god that or like a universal like what we are kind of saying is like universal thing that fit into every problem in the every industry. Okay. So we have not achieved that kind of like super AI intelligence level. And other thing is we cannot solve every problem. Like even the physical and digital world, we cannot solve every problem. But there's a vast amount of problem that we can solve. I'm not doubting that. But it doesn't mean that the AI hype word is going to save you at the end of the day, but every day. It doesn't mean that. Okay. So you have to understand the true potential of what it does. And as a PM, the second do, understand the feature impact. So before launching new AI features, consider how they will impact existing functionality. So each new feature should improve or not interfere with previous features. So in AI, strategic alignment is crucial for staying ahead in this fast-paced environment. And the don'ts, do not, we talked about the do nots. The first do not is avoid the shiny AI object trap. So don't launch products just because the technology behind them is. So technology fascination without user value leads to failed products and wasted resources. So ensure your product roadmap align with business objectives. And the second don't rely on hunches. Great PMs have strong analytical skills. So back to institutions with data and research similar implementation and their return on investment like Harvard. Data supported proposals are more likely to get stakeholder buy-in and funding approval. So let's move into our real world AI application stage. So in here, I'm going to talk about the 9 sections that we can see the AI applications. The first one, learn from data. So this is about real time insight solution based on user generated content and historical data. So for example, I'm taking Whoop. So it's a wearable fitness tracker. It provides predictive insights about recovery, sleep, and strength. And the second one, the Fitbot, which is strength training. And it predicts the optimal workout based on past performance and fatigue levels. So these are not just data dashboards. They are learning system that get smarter with every interaction. And the second section, the personalization at scale. So if you heard that personalization at scale, it means that you are talking to the customer's heart. So you identify the true intention of your client or customer. So if you are in like a school classroom, if your teacher educated the whole classroom, there are like 40 people. 40 people don't understand the way teacher explains. So some of the students can understand, but some students don't. So that's the same with the other industries, not only the education, with the sales, with everything. If the customer didn't get like, yeah, customer has a like different one, and you have like a different. If the vibe doesn't match, that means you are not accurately fulfill your client environment, client requirement. So because of that, personalization at scale is very important, and it will tailor recommendation that adapt our client preferences and behaviors. So the best example, Spotify's AI DJ, and it's a personalized music curation, which able to continuously adapt to our clients' preferences, behaviors, and moods. So this is not just about algorithmic recommendation. It's that AI which understands context and how our client behaves. And the third one is content generation. So I don't want to like to talk about this content generation, but you all know about these things. So ChatGPT, Gemini, Anthropic's Claude.ai, Perplexity, and so on. We have generative AI LLM tools. So these tools are transforming how we create and interact with the content. So not only the text, we have image, video, and other data types as well. And the next thing is informational processing. So information processing we can take as simplifying complex information to uh, let's say digest is the best word. So digest insights. And notebook LM is a best example. It's a powerful research assistant, even like create you like audio overview and so on. And Auto.ai, another meeting transcription and summarization tool. And we can take Tableau, so like the AI powered analytics and data visualization. So if you heard about Power BI and Tableau is another like correlated product. Not the same company, but you might heard about. And these tools are making information more accessible, actionable. And next one is the predictive analytics. So forecasting trends are generating actionable insights. So the Kensho and S&P's global AI powered predictive insight for financial markets. So it shows how AI can transform our decision making in complex domains. So next one is the real time adaptation. So this actually dynamically responding in conversational interaction. So it makes sure that we have to have the real time adaptation when we are doing conversational interaction. So the Duolingo, the language. So it just adjusts the lessons based on the user performance. While our workflow automation, it's another thing. We have Zapier and Enlighten. So these are for task automation. So the load here to the height. So if you visit the website, you can see like many examples in Enlighten, for example. And creative collaboration. So the creative collaboration we are talking about the creative collaboration, you can see it assists the brainstorming, idea generation, and creative project refinement. And Adobe AI is a tool that we can create, you know, creative work in our like, very imaginative projects. And immersive experience in others. So immersive experience like Red Room, social media platform, Roblox, AI hands-on enhanced gaming experience in other. And if you're talking about quality assurance tools, so one of the general tools that we can talk about Grammarly. Actually, if you're talking about quality assurance, there are like a lot of examples, but I take the Grammarly for the real-time grammar and tone correction. So these are some tools that I mentioned covering 9 section, which AIPM strategy has been involved in these companies. So talking from content generation and immersive experience and error correction in the grammars, and we have talked about the books, and we have talked about the Spotify AI DJ, and these application and these sectors, the 9 sectors, have give you understand what we have been experiencing. So the 9 sections are there, totally distinct 9 sections. So in each company, we can see that AI PM role is establishing and as well as the role is more prioritizing over other roles. So as an AI PM, it's very important to understand responsibility and the demand. And in the next video, we are going to talk about like the practically how we are going to see the AI PM, the practical example. So we have seen the real world example in this video, as I mentioned, but we are going to see like a more practical overview in the next video. So hope you liked it. I know this is a like short video, but let's keep continuing to keep the momentum. So thank you for hearing me out.